Welcome to Mental Models Daily, where we explore one mental model each day to help you elevate your daily decision-making. Today, we're diving into a concept that's more relevant than ever in our digital age: information overload. Information overload occurs when the amount of input to a system exceeds its processing capacity. In human terms, it's when we're exposed to so much information that we become overwhelmed and unable to make effective decisions or take meaningful action. It's like trying to drink from a fire hose. You might be thirsty, but the sheer volume of water makes it impossible to actually quench your thirst. Historically, we can look at the invention of the printing press in the 15th century as an early example of information overload. When Johannes Gutenberg introduced movable type printing to Europe, it triggered what scholars call the printing revolution. For the first time in history, books became widely available, and people suddenly had access to more information than they could possibly consume. Some scholars of the time even complained that the abundance of books would lead to intellectual laziness and confusion. Sound familiar? In the modern business world, Microsoft conducted a fascinating study that revealed the impact of information overload on productivity. They found that the average employee spends 28% of their work week managing emails alone. Add in Slack messages, meetings, reports, and other communications, and it's no wonder that many businesses are now implementing digital detox policies. Companies like Volkswagen have even stopped their email servers from routing messages to employees' phones after their workday ends. It's like putting a dam in the stream of information to prevent flooding. So how can we apply strategies to combat information overload in our daily lives? Firstly, implement the touch it once principle. When you encounter a piece of information, whether it's an email, a notification, or an article, make an immediate decision about what to do with it. Act on it, delegate it, archive it, or delete it. This prevents the same piece of information from demanding your attention multiple times. It's like sorting your mail directly over the recycling bin instead of creating a pile to deal with later. Secondly, practice intentional consumption by setting specific times for checking emails, news, and social media. This creates boundaries around information intake and helps prevent the constant interruption of your focus. Think of it as having designated meal times instead of snacking throughout the day. It's more efficient and better for your mental digestion. Lastly, use the information hierarchy approach. Before consuming any information, ask yourself 3 questions. Is this essential? Is this timely? Is this actionable? This helps prioritize what truly deserves your attention. It's like having a bouncer at the door of your mind, only letting in VIP information. In conclusion, information overload is not just about having too much information. It's about our ability to process and use that information effectively. By understanding this mental model and implementing strategies to manage our information intake, we can reduce stress, improve decision-making, and maintain our productivity in an increasingly information-rich world. Thank you for joining me today on Mental Models Daily. Until next time, may your information be filtered, your attention be focused, and your decisions be clear. For more mental models, please visit mentalmodelsdaily.com or find us on X or Instagram. Our podcast music was provided by the podcasthost.com and Alitu, the podcast maker. Find your own free podcast music over at thepodcasthost.com/free music.